Hello, I'm John Borowski, and you're on the hook. Today we're going to be talking about improving your bottom line. So as promised from the last video, I said I was going to show you something that would improve your bottom line for many, many towers out there. And it's all about your salvage. Now, I do understand that a lot of towers become complacent. They don't want to deal with it. They just really want to get towed, get a tow in, get paid for it, and get it out the gate. Well, it doesn't always happen that way. Lots of times the vehicles are left behind. So I can't express the importance enough of following the lien procedures so you legally own it. And in many cases, the states are pretty much the same. It's usually a certified mail notification a couple times. Maybe it's in the newspaper or wherever. And a notice in my state, to the police chief. And the whole course runs from tow in to auction day is 102 days. Many states are different. A lot of them are less time. But the nice thing about ours is that we end up with a clean title we can sell, whether there's a lien on that vehicle or not. So this is an important part of your bottom line. Now, I know I'm one of those people that became very complacent and just had a lot of my cars that were really, that weren't worth that much. Valuations right now aren't really easy to say. I guess if I compare it to today, anything that's worth $500 and less, it just plain went to a junkyard that I chose that was giving me the best price of the week. Now, I got to tell you, most junkyards have really got their business face on when they're talking to you, and they all talk together. They pretty much control what the market is for that scrap vehicle, complete vehicle, figuring it on the basis of weight and what the actual price of scrap metal is per ton. If they can sell parts off it, that's a bonus. And that's all great. But to get yourself caught up in a situation where a salvage yard pays you $150 a car and they don't care what it is not the thing for you to do, because you're wasting a lot of time and money. First of all, just to follow the lien process costs you money. Plus, it's got to be sitting in your storage facility that's costing you money, or you got to have an awful large one if you only do it once in a while. These vehicles shouldn't stay any longer than your lien procedure time basis. In other words, in my state, it's 102 days again. So if I was to leave a car there, send my notices, do everything correct, but leave out one important function, selling the actual vehicle. And I let it sit there, say 200 days, because I think maybe that guy's going to be coming back and wants the car. Or maybe I'll wait or I could use the parts out of it, or whatever the case may be. If you end up going to court in front of a judge, they will never allow an additional day of storage beyond my 102 days. So there is no advantage to sell it later, to hold on to it another year. I've heard people have cars and vehicles 5 years. That thing's changed in valuation, probably 4 times, 20 times that thing has changed. Why would you want to do that? It's absolutely ridiculous. And it clutters up your storage facility, which, that's the spot where we bring in some money that we don't always put out in front of everybody. That's kind of our mad money that we can actually get some bills paid, maybe get a few other things accomplished, because we're all cutting that actual retail price of a tow so close to the bone that salvage becomes extremely important. So onto the topic of the salvage. So from what I have discovered, there are really 3 different types of categories of vehicle auctions. Now, of course, you can always do the vehicle auction on your property, get an auctioneer, have them come in, have people trampling all over your lot, looking at everything, digging through other vehicles, being in all the places that they shouldn't be. And that happens all the time when you do that kind of business, unless you escort them in and out. And you're going to be paying extra labor for your employees to be walking in all these people that 9 out of 10 of them are not going to buy anyway. They're just being nosy and they're just trying to figure out how much it is, kick the tires, and see what they can learn about it. And when the day comes to the auction, you could see that same person standing there and never even put their hand up or try to bid on it. I had swapped over to online auctions some years ago, actually when it first came out, and they're very effective. They can be extremely effective if you have an audience. The larger the audience, the higher the price. The more competition, the higher the price. So here's the different ways that you can go. There's 3 different kinds of categories. There's non-vehicle specific marketplace, and I'll explain all of these. There's broad vehicle marketplaces, and then there's niche vehicle marketplaces like high-end auctions specific to impounds. Now, for the non-vehicle specific marketplaces, that would be High Bid. You can find that online. Not really. I don't know. I don't want to talk down about other people's auctions, but I don't see where that one really works at all. And they market they market anything on there. I mean, you could be buying jewelry on there or whatever. But in any event, it's a marketplace, and whatever your region, whatever works in your region, you should be sticking with it, and you should be looking at other things to try and improve your bottom line. The broad marketplaces, the broad vehicle marketplaces for auctions would be like an eBay Motors, Copart, IAA, ADESA, Manheim, Carvana, ACS, and Auto Auction Mall. Those are all different auction sites that are available to you. Now the niche vehicle marketplace, high end, Bring a Trailer, and Haggerty's. Again, I don't know that any of those are really a great fit for what we do and what we're actually selling. I mean, if you have other vehicles you want to put in there, maybe something that you rebuilt and you want to sell, then maybe that's the thing to do. But for your typical salvage vehicles and cleaning your storage lot, I personally don't see the justification of using those. So you really get down to really 2 very specific products that are out there right now. One that's been around for a while, Tow-Lock. That was the one that I used, and it worked fairly well. The audience could have been bigger, but Brandon and his dad, nice people. They do a nice job. But this one here, I've got a little bit of loyalty to because I helped build it, and that's called Joyride. And it's new, it's growing, and the audiences are huge. And it's growing geographically. This is a new product that just came out. I worked on it for the past year. And this is not to be an infomercial. This is really for the topic of online auto auctions. I happen to be involved in this one, so I'm telling you what I have been able to work with. You can see from the paperwork up there how this thing operates, and it's very simple and easy to use. The bottom line here, guys, is that you got to get every dime that you can today. And while I love the salvage guys, and they do a great job, and I'm very familiar with URG and all those guys, that's the United Recyclers Group. They are good people, but so aren't we. We just need to get what we should be getting for these vehicles, and there is a lot of value out there. You know yourself, not every car is simply scrap metal. So what I want you to do is to take a long, hard look at all your options out there, and I want to warn you that you need to be doing this process. I know there's many people that are probably not doing the online auction because they can't guarantee a title, and that probably means because they haven't done the lien procedure correct. You need to do that correctly. Let me explain that to you. Many, many years ago, and if anybody's been in my seminars, I've explained many times before, there were laws that were made for the mafia, and this happens to be one of them. It's called conversion. So when you take somebody else's property wrongfully, without doing the lien process correctly, that is called conversion, when you sell it to somebody else and put money in your pocket. You have not attained ownership correctly, and now you've passed it on to somebody else, and you put the money in your pocket. That goes straight to jail. There is no warning for that. It is a felony, and there's many people that could be faced with that. And how that may open up, I would hope that everybody by now knows that when you are getting rid of vehicles and you know that it's going to be salvaged, never be titled again, for instance, a burner, or maybe a 92 Buick LeSabre, that it's only scrap metal when you put it through the auction. You know that car is going to be scrapped. You have to report it to the Department of Justice. You can go on the website. You can do them individually for no cost. You want to do groups? There are some businesses that do that for you, and you feed them the vehicle information, and it'll all go into the DOJ. Now, if you don't do that, it's $1,000 per violation. How many cars did you scrap in the last year that weren't properly handled? Start doing the math. Add them up by 1,000 each. and you're going to be in jail with conversion. It's not worth it. And doing the wrong thing is costing you money at the end of the day. Your bottom line is smaller. You should be getting more. We have to work harder every day to bring in the extra dollars to take care of what we haven't been doing, getting the proper fees for towing. Now, I do understand that many times it's out of our control. I know in my state it's regulated, and we fight and claw every single year at the Department of Public Utilities to get more money. And I think finally we're going to get some much better money for a change. But we've been fighting for many years, and your expenses got to come from somewhere. And if it doesn't, what happens? Every single problem we have in this industry is all about the dollar. I mean, the biggest headache we have right now, and especially coming out of the pandemic, is going to be able to retain staff. And what does it take? Benefits. Oh, it costs money. Vacation time. Oh, that costs money. In health insurance, that costs money. Contribute, for the company to contribute to your 401k, that costs money. Every single thing that we need for proper driver retention is all about the dollar. So let's start finding those dollars and get us really good staff. I know we have good staff now, but we have some that keep turning over and going elsewhere. That's it for this time around. Be talking to you again soon. You guys stay safe out there. Everyone goes home tonight. Thank you.